This morning, former Delaware Assistant United States Attorney Leslie Wolf appeared before the House Judiciary Committee for a closed-door deposition. The committee is investigating allegations from two IRS whistleblowers that Wolf deviated from standard Department of Justice investigative procedures and policies and interfered in the 5-year investigation into Hunter Biden. In a November letter to Wolf, the House Judiciary Committee raised the following whistleblower allegations against her. They include telling defense counsel about a potential search warrant for Hunter Biden's abandoned storage unit, and later objecting to executing a search warrant on the unit, prohibiting investigators from asking witnesses about the big guy or dad, presumably referring to President Biden, ordering investigators to remove from a search warrant any reference to political figure one, that's President Biden, prohibiting investigations from following up on evidence of criminal campaign finance violations, and forbidding investigators from interviewing Hunter Biden's adult children. In a statement to the committee this morning, Leslie Wolf said, quote, "At no time did politics play a role or in any way impact my work as a federal prosecutor. I followed the facts and applied the law in each and every case I handled." Former federal prosecutor Joe Moreno joins me. Joe, before we get into this Leslie Wolf testimony, I keep hearing that from the Democratic side of the aisle that there's no proof for the impeachment. I think we have to establish something. Proof is what you have at the trial. The inquiry is when there's smoke to investigate.
Yeah, I thought that White House counsel's statement that you showed a minute ago was very carefully parsed. It was very lawyerly. It was well done. Of course, an inquiry looks for evidence. You then
That's the purpose of it.
What to do with that evidence and whether and how to move forward. And clearly, the Democrats are, keep in mind, you could debate the political wisdom of whether or not the Republicans should pursue impeachment, knowing that a conviction in the Senate is very unlikely.
Unless they uncover something horrendous in which if they could peel off some Democratic senators. But, I mean, we have no idea what's going to happen.
But, I mean, were it not for those IRS whistleblowers testifying before the House, we wouldn't know that $24 million in the last 6 years flowed into the Biden family, largely from Chinese and Ukrainian sources. That's significant. I mean, Donald Trump is being prosecuted for $130 grand up in New York. $24 million is quite extensive. So to call it a clown car investigation is sort of ridiculous.
That's what Majority Leader Schumer said. All right, now, going to the prosecutor who was prosecuting Hunter Biden, Leslie Wolf. She has now left the Justice Department, maybe has another job. It's not unusual for prosecutors to leave the Justice Department. You left the Justice Department. They all do eventually. But when she sends in an email, someone needs to redraft the search warrant affidavit. There should be nothing about political figure one in here. And that's in August of 2020. What in the world was she thinking? Who was she protecting?
She was putting blinders on her investigators, and she was making topics off limits. We know when that the investigators interviewed Joe Biden's brother, they were told no questions about the president. That's off limits. We've heard about search warrants. We've heard about her tipping off the defense team in advance of search warrants. Look, there's no reason you would ever do that. I mean, the only reasons you would say don't talk about things are like attorney-client communications. Things are illegal that you can't ask about. Other than that, you follow the evidence and you ask questions. So to put these investigators in a position where you're saying you can ask about that, but you can't ask about that, you know, that's nonsense. And she could say all she wants that it wasn't political, but it's very clear.
Well, the other thing that always is so bizarre to me is the fact that in October of last year, the now special counsel said that he didn't think Hunter Biden should be charged with anything, nothing at all. Then you've got these whistleblowers that we're talking about in April who suddenly blow the whistle, and suddenly the prosecutor, who was not yet the special prosecutor, suddenly says, oh, we're gonna charge him, and he charges him something that's supposed to be arraigned in July, and the judge looks at the deal, and the deal is bizarre. It's such a sweetheart deal. It looks like you've been trying to cover him up last October, trying to cover up later in April. So then after that blows up, he then wants to be special prosecutor. I mean, something's funny.
I wouldn't trade places with David Weiss for anything, but this is his own fault.
He asked for it. No. But see, that's it. There's no reason. He should not be the special prosecutor. He should have said, I'm not the right person. First, I said there should be no charges. Then when I got caught with my pants down, I said, well, we should have these charges. Then I got caught by the federal judge with something ridiculous. It looks like a cover-up, for lack of better words. And then he wants to be special prosecutor.
And even now, remember, Hunter Biden is now facing gun charges and tax charges. They are serious. However, they're still walled off from anyone else in the Biden family. There's no bribery charges. There's no Foreign Agent Registration Act charges. Nothing that can tie Hunter Biden to the rest of the family or to President Biden. So even now, as the charges look serious, they're still highly focused, and they ignore an awful lot around the peripheral. Which
is why an inquiry, so we can get this sorted out, an impeachment inquiry, it may exonerate the president. We don't know, but
Sure.
but until we sort of look at the facts and find out what's there, we have no idea, and it's going to fuel suspicion on one side of the political.
You should always be suspicious when someone rings the fire bell that they don't even want an investigation, because an investigation is nonsense. That should trigger red flags for anybody.
Well, I never liked investigation. I wouldn't want an investigation. Anyway, Joe Moreno, thank you.
Thanks, Greta.